about the NPA investigation.
Everybody talks.
The receipt for where
But we keep you informed 24/7.
Do they understand what the Constitution is all about? They're supposed to be the ones that would say, okay, well, you can protest, but don't do this, don't do that.
Protest is part of democracy. Whether it's irritation or not, it's part of democracy.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
So 2 Fridays ago, the presidency dropped the bombshell that the Transport Ministry will be investigating the management of the Nigerian Ports Authority, right? I say bombshell because the president only just renewed the NPA MD's term, Hadiza Bala Usman. You remember, yeah? He just renewed her term. But now we have this investigation and Usman has been suspended. Now, here's today's big hard fact. According to the NPA, Nigeria has major ports in 6 states: Lagos, Rivers, Edo, Delta, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River. And up until 2 Fridays ago, Hadiza Bala Usman ran the agency that supervised these ports. But now she's under investigation for her work there. So today we're looking at this ongoing probe, and we're also going to use it as a chance to talk about the running of the ports. Now, I'm hoping that we're going to have 2 analysts from SBM Intelligence. One of them is a data researcher. The other one is a senior analyst from SBM Intelligence. I do hope that we're going to be able to get them on the phone. It doesn't look like that's working just yet. Okay, it does look like we have someone on the phone, but I'm not sure who now. Hello? Okay, no. We don't have them on the phone just yet. But hey, we will get them on and then we'll have a conversation. I'm expecting to have Glory Etim. She's a data researcher, data analyst with SBM Intelligence. Joaquim McEffiong is also joining us from SBM Intelligence. And Lagos, while I talk to these 2 guests, I want to talk to you as well. What questions do you have for our guests about the ongoing NPA probe and the NPA's performance at the ports? You know, what questions do you have for them? For me, my first question would be, why has there been no clear official reason given for the investigation and suspension? I mean, suspending an MD while investigating alleged mismanagement is not routine, right? Usually there has to be a specific allegation, shouldn't there? So that would be my first question as soon as we have our guests join us on the phone. I mean, you have the initial reports, unofficial reports, saying that the investigation was about unremitted money, right? Allegedly, the NPA had failed to remit 165 billion naira to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. But now we're hearing that the probe has shifted from that to insubordination. So, you know, what's really the truth? And then you also have the House of Reps running with that money allegation. The House of Reps Minority Caucus is saying that this thing should be a bigger investigation than a ministerial panel. They want the EFCC to even get involved. And you have to ask if these allegations and the investigation itself is being handled in a serious enough matter. And there's been accusations that the suspension did not follow due process. Her supporters are claiming that the suspension violated the procedures that the president laid down last year for discipline of CEOs of federal MDAs. Specifically, they are claiming that Usman has never been queried and so cannot be suspended right away. So there's that on the one hand. And then you also have the fact that the rest of the board wasn't suspended, just Usman. So is this usual? Is this unusual? These are all the questions that have been swirling around in my head. And I'm hoping that we can get our guests join us on the phone and help me answer these questions. So like I said, we're expecting Joaquim McEffiong. The calls, unfortunately, are not connecting. I don't know why, but we'll keep trying to get them. And then we're also expecting Gloria Etim. We keep trying to get in touch with them, but it's not working out. So we're going to keep trying. I do know that if I say, oh, please call me now, the phone lines will be blocked even further. And you won't be able to, we won't be able to get across to them. But let's see if the calls connect. Because what I'm most interested in talking to you about Lagos is what you think about this suspension of Hadiza Bala Usman. What do you think about her suspension? What questions do you have about the probe? But please don't call me just yet so that we leave the phone lines clear enough to get our guests on the line. And then we're also going to talk about, hopefully, we're also going to talk about the NPA as a whole and the ports themselves under Hadiza Bala Usman. Starting here in Lagos, it still takes forever to get cargo in and out. One of the reasons is the congestion of the port roads. This year, NPA launched an electronic call-up system for trucks at the port. But it doesn't seem to be solving the congestion problems. So I'm curious what my analysts will say the reason is. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the reports about NPA giving Dangote Petrochemicals a waiver to land equipment at One to avoid worsening the congestion at Apapa. And you have to ask, isn't this a sign that One can handle far more types of cargo than it has previously been allowed to handle? So see, there are so many angles to this thing, and I do hope our guests can join us. I'm seeing that Lagos is already calling me. Lagos, please don't call me so that we can have the phone lines clear. I beg now, Edjo. All right, so we've got our calls here, but it seems that Glory has dropped off. I don't know why that happened, but I've got Joaquin McEbong on the show with me. Joaquin, thank you so much for joining us, and apologies for the connection.
Thank you for having me, Sandra.
All right, so I have started shooting off a lot of the questions that I had. So I'm just going to back up and start with the very first question that I asked on the show before we connected to you. Why has there been no clear official reason given for the investigation and suspension of Hadiza Usman? I mean, suspending an MD while investigating alleged mismanagement is not routine. That's something I said earlier on. Usually there has to be a specific allegation, shouldn't there?
Yes, there should be a specific allegation, and there is normally a specific allegation only after an investigation has been done. So you investigate, then you allege, then you can take whatever action you are taking. However, there is a lot to suggest that there is plenty of political back and forth involved in this particular case, and it's really a sign of wider issues within the Buhari administration itself, and also speaks to the general way that we handle issues of malfeasance among government officials. So typically these things only come up when you have offended somebody or you are perhaps a football in a game between two big players, as it were. And this kind of issue speaks to both.
Okay, Lagos, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. And today we're asking what we know about the NPA investigation. 2 Fridays ago, the presidency dropped the news that the Transport Ministry will be investigating the management of the Nigerian Ports Authority. Now, this came as a shock to most people because the president only just renewed the NPA MD's term, right? Hadiza Bala Usman. Now, the initial reports, unconfirmed reports that we heard about this Wakim, were that the investigation was about unremitted money. Allegedly, the NPA had failed to remit 165 billion naira to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. But now we are hearing that the probe has shifted from that to quote-unquote insubordination. Like, do you have any information whatsoever about this alleged 165 billion naira?
First of all, from revenue generating agencies, there are always these issues regarding remittance of funds. The NMPC has had this, that is a serial offender, for example, over time. And also various other revenue agencies are typically involved in this issue of remittance and non-remittance periodically, and they have to answer Senate summons and so on and so forth. Again, there is supposed to be a process for these remittances done using the Treasury single account. That was why there was so much jubilation, over the Treasury single account in the first place. The idea being that it's supposed to ensure that some of these things don't happen. However, first of all, it seems that is still an issue. But secondly, like you said, the shifting of the goalposts, as it were, from a hard allegation of non-remittance of funds to something, to an umbrella term called insubordination, quote unquote, again, speaks to perhaps the personal nature of this particular issue. You also rightly said that the Buhari administration had renewed Bala Usman's term only in January, which is about 4 months ago. So what precisely happened between January and May, to lead to such a drastic action? And really, it's something that would calls for more questions than answers, from Nigerians. And it really, again, speaks to the personal nature of many of a lot of the way governance in Nigeria is run. Governance in Nigeria is typically about personalities and little to do with anything regarding policy. And so that is the main driver of this particular issue. If there was a high allegation, that allegation they would have doubled down on it. But again, the shift from a hard allegation to a very soft one, a very much a catch-all term, an umbrella term, again shows that this is really about personality clashes.
Now, there have been accusations that the suspension did not follow due process. Her supporters are claiming that the suspension violated the procedures that the president laid down last year for discipline of CEOs of federal MDAs. Specifically, they're claiming that Usman has never been queried and so cannot be suspended right away. Is this accurate?
Now, again, it depends on the actual official communication that has passed between herself and the Minister of Transportation, for example, Rotimi Amechi. So again, if you connect that to the fact that they have moved the allegation from something about money, something about insubordination, you then make the connection that the lack of, because if there was a memo to that effect, a query, an official communication from the Minister of Transport there,
Right.
asking for certain clarifications from Hadiza Bala Usman,
Mm-hmm.
then there would have been an established paper trail with which to take certain actions. However, if that paper trail is not in evidence, if that paper trail does not exist, again, it comes to the ad hoc nature of the way, we run governance in Nigeria. That is, it doesn't follow. In fact, many of these things don't follow due process. Either remittance of funds, the actual appointment of some officers, and the suspension and or dismissal of those officials typically does not follow due process. For example, in the case of the security chiefs, for example, you had the last set that had passed had their allotted time for remaining in service had all elapsed. That itself is a violation of due process, which is that in national security. So typically, it is if you are 60 years or above, and if you've attained 35 years of service, whichever comes first, then you are due for retirement. However, that did not happen in the case of the last batch of service chiefs, and that itself is a violation of due process. And you can have there's a lengthy list of such violations, again, through time and regardless of the party in power. So this particular issue with Hadiza Bala Osman is really a feature and not a bug of Nigerian governance.
Now, I wonder how usual or unusual you will find the fact that the rest of the board wasn't suspended, just Usman.
Once again, the board typically is supposed to keep a CEO in check, or failing that, then they make some representations or the other to the minister or to the president. However, that board was in place when her tenure was renewed, and so it would stand to reason that either they did not make any representation to the board or to the president or the central minister, or whatever representation was made was deemed insufficient. A reason with which to end her appointment at the first term. However, the fact that she eventually returned and has now been suspended over 4 months shows that a lot has probably changed in that brief period.
All right. Lagos, let me hear from you now. The number to call if you're a man is 0700-993-993-993. If you're a woman, 01-465-7190. Thankfully, we have Glory Etim on the line now. Glory, how are you? Sorry about the technical difficulty earlier on.
I'm fine.
Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
All right, Lagos, let's talk, shall we? And then we'll go back to our guests. Our number is 01-465-7190. For women, 01-465-7190. For men, 0700-993-993-993. 0700-993-993-993. It's 21 minutes past 5. Let's talk to Martins in transit. Martins is always in transit. Hello, Martins.
This is a different Martins.
Oh.
Okay. I know there's other Martins who are always stuck in traffic.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, I feel from your guest narration, I think this what we are just hearing is just a matter of tug of war.
Okay.
A female and a male.
Okay.
Who does the port manager report to? Does she report to Amechi or she reports to the president directly? This power tussle between Amechi, her, and the president being a reappointing now, all these things are just power politics playing in between, because I cannot see any reason why he is on suspension. Your guest is she is just actually also saying that, all that is just playing is just, the intricacy of the whole, this person is in charge, she's a female, Amechi is there. I just don't know. But I wanted to find out actually, does the manager reports to Amechi directly is placed under the Minister of Transport, or she reports directly to the president? So that's where you get to see, Oga, I'm not the under you now, president and the report to directly. So whatever you like, make you do. You know, that kind of situation. So that's what I just see. That's what I'm actually just seeing.
That's what you're deducing. Okay.
Yes.
Martins, thank you very much for calling. 0700-993-993-993. If you're a man, that's the number you should call. If you're a woman, 01465-7190. 01465-7190. Now, let me stay on you a bit more, Joaquim, and then I'll come to Glory. I want to talk about this insubordination accusation a bit more. But first of all, let's talk about this issue with Intels at the Onde airport, because it keeps coming up. And allegedly, it may be at the center of the insubordination allegation. What happened with Intel's concessions and contracts at Onde?
So apparently the tenure has been renewed over time, and everything appeared to be fine. Until then, it was cancelled by the NPA. Now, the cancellation appeared to have followed the process because, I think that there are some sort of a contract that is renewable, and then at the expiration of that contract, the whole thing was then terminated. That is at the expiration of the current contract. It was then terminated. Typically, these things typically are renewed unless something happen on the site again with regard to the personalities involved. However, if a contract has reached its terminal point, that is the point of renewal, and it is now not renewed, then again the reasons are not as important as the fact that the contract itself was duly executed for the time frame with which it was signed initially. So I don't know what the insubordination charge is about again, because if there was a query or if there was a documentation asking her to clarify her actions regarding Intels, it's not obvious. It's not obvious what her response was. And whether the minister deemed that response to be satisfactory. Again, you had alluded earlier that the Bala Usman supporters are claiming that there was no query from the minister. So if there was no query, if he didn't deem it fit to put whatever issue he had on paper and unofficial communication, then I think it's a bit difficult for us to begin to speculate about what precisely the insubordination charge is about. Did he ask her to renew the Intel's contract and she didn't? Did he ask her? So all of these things, again, more questions than answers.
The previous caller raised that interesting point about subordination, right? In this context, where we have a minister and the head of a parastatal under his that's under the ministry of the minister, what does the law expect in terms of subordination? What specific actions is the head of the parastatal forbidding to take without the permission of the minister? That's a question you're going to think about. Glory will also think about it as well, because we need to take a break. When we come back from this break, Lagos, we will talk, and I will talk to you as well, because I'm sure you have thoughts about this issue, yeah? What do you think about this suspension of Hadiza Bala Usman? What questions do you have about the probe itself? Our number, you should have that on file. Our number is 014657190 for women. 014657190 for women. For men, 0700-993-993-993. If you just tuned in, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info, and we are talking about the investigation into Hadiza Bala Usman's time as the NPA MD. According to the NPA, Nigeria has major ports in Lagos, in Rivers, Edo, Delta, Akwa, Ibom, and Cross River. And Hadiza, up until 2 Fridays ago, ran the agency that supervised those ports.
Allow me to introduce energy drink. Down.
energy drink. Stimulate the energy in you.
My people, how far? See, if any kind person say you want the coded password for your bank app, I be your PIN. Your card PIN, I be the 3 number where they back of your card. Your pay ID, I be the answer for your security question. I beg, don't give them all this information. Them suppose they coded. You no suppose share them with anybody. Make you wise up. No make them scam you. This message now from Kuda Microfinance Bank, the bank of the free. Make you download Kuda for your Play Store or for App Store to open accounts. Make you start to enjoy your banking.
Charles!
Yes, Mommy?
Go and bring 2 sachets of hypo bleach for me.
Why 2?
Because I'm using one to soak the whites and using one to kill all the germs.
But I can't see any germs here.
They are so tiny you can't see them. But they are there. And that is why I trust only hypo bleach to kill them all.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your household free of illness causing germs and viruses with the disinfecting power of hypo bleach.
Before now, getting a good HMO that works perfectly for my staff was a lot of hassle. Many HMOs come with cumbersome registration. It gets worse when my staff come back to complain about the terrible service they get from these HMOs. I decided to give Reliance HMO a try based on glowing recommendations I received from my HR colleagues, and I was not disappointed. I was able to register all 100 staff in 5 minutes. I have access to a 24-hour responsive helpline and an account manager that helps me with any issue. My staff raves about the premium service they receive from Reliance HMO. They especially love the access to gym, spa, dental care, and the hospital roaming. I no longer worry myself about issues concerning HMO. Reliance HMO does that for me. I will recommend them any day.
Visit reliancehmo.com/corporate or call 0700-7354-2623 to get a quote for your company and start enjoying reliable healthcare today. Reliance HMO. You can rely on us.
Our friend Oliver is what you call a man with a huge appetite. Gigantic, actually. And if there's one phrase we have come to know Oliver for, it is this.
More data, please.
No matter what we offer him.
More data, please.
So, guess what we did? We heard Glow created new data plans for people like Oliver, and we got him exactly that. And guess what Oliver said?
Excuse me, please, is this all for me? Only me?
Now, Oliver certainly has more than enough data. All thanks to the Glow Mega Data Plans.
With the longer validity you get on Glow Mega Data Plans, you can work from home with ease, run your business better, download non-stop, stream music and movies endlessly, learn online, and share data with anyone. No worries. Get 225 gigabytes at 30,000 Naira for 30 days, 425 gigabytes at 50,000 Naira for 90 days, and 1 terabyte at 100,000 Naira for a year. Dial *777# now to start enjoying these mega plans.
Glow Unlimited.
Hey, Rent Money will lend you up to 6 million Naira in 24 hours for business or personal needs. So, for loans of up to 6 million Naira, visit rentmoney.com or call 0700 5500. Call us now. Our phone lines are open till 11 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Need money? Rent Money.
Enter the place and it brighten. Make everybody they wonder. Waiting me cause all the shine. Lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls we know better. Lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Straight or curly. You know they tango. Lie. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair.
Know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
Hello?
Eddie, my friend.
Yeah?
May is going to be amazing with DSTV. There are 155 matches from the Premier League,
What?
La Liga, Serie A, Champions League, and FA Cup.
Whoa.
That's 2 of the biggest cup finals and 3 of the best leagues in the world, reaching the pinnacle of the season.
Whoa, that is amazing.
It is amazing, Eddie. And the only place in the world where you can watch all of this amazing football in May is on DSTV.
Be amazed
amazed by the world's best football when you get connected to DSTV.
8 times 500 naira, 4,000 naira. 8 times 5,000. Hi!
I beg, where on they see this money?
Money care. Now the ogbonge bonus we had the summer me as I buy new SIM card. See, then they give me double data subscription plus 8 times a woof anytime I recharge.
Oh boy, what's up for me now?
You know, say you fit buy SIM card now for any accredited Airtel shop, ba? Just go there with your NIN, just like that.
Sure guy.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Need money? Rent money. Need money? Rent money. Need money? Rent money.
Visit renmoney.com or call 0700 5500.
Need money? Rent money. Need money? Rent money. Need money? Rent money. Need money? Rent money.
Visit renmoney.com or call 0700 5500.
Need money? Rent money.
Oh boy, check this new La Casera packaging now. Paulo say the freshness don't fresh. Me say na lie. The refreshment don't fresh. Now the matter with the set to so.
Bring and make us.
Wait, why now?
Hey, same ultra apple taste. Fresh new label. The refreshment don't fresh. Enjoy the fresh vibes of La Casera with new colorful, exciting look. But the bamba apple taste no change. La Casera, I love this drink.
For area, then they call me Baba 22. If you look my JC number 22, my keke plate number encore 22, my house number, of course, I dey cack for number 22. But you sabi wetin really make them they call me Baba 22? Now because I dey groove 22 times bonus on top every recharge.
Yes, so if you don't take when you use your glow line, reactivate now, make you begin enjoy your own get 22 times bonus on top every recharge. It dey pay to reactivate your glow line.
Glow Unlimited.
I have to read for my exams, but I feel so sleepy.
Hey, drink Amber.
Omo, this work, I tire gone.
Alaye, you don't go drink Amber.
I'm not sure I can meet that deadline.
You can't, Joe. Drink Amber.
This traffic na die,
Guy, not to drink Amber. That's right. With 1 can of Amber energy drink, you get your daily recommended dose of nutrients, vitamin, amino acid, citric acid, and a blend of guarana, a natural caffeine to give that huge rush of energy to get you through your day. And don't forget that refreshingly premium taste that is sure to blow your mind.
Last, wahala for who no dey drink Amber.
Amber is proudly Niger and available in stores near you. Amber energy drink. Stimulate the energy in you.
We are back. We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
What do we know about the NPA investigation? That's the conversation we're having today on Hard Facts. It's 5:36. I've got Joaquin McEbong on the show, as well as Glory Etim. They're both from SBM Intelligence. They're both researchers with SBM Intelligence. And they're trying to help us figure out how things were running under Hadiza Bala Usman, who was up until 2 Fridays ago the MD at the Nigerian Ports Authority. 2 Fridays ago, the presidency told us through the Transport Ministry that the Transport Ministry will be investigating the management of the Nigerian Ports Authority. Now, before the break, Joaquin, I was asking about this insubordination matter in the context where we have a minister and the head of a parastatal that is under his ministry. What does the law expect in terms of subordination? What specific actions is the head of the parastatal forbidding to take without the permission of the minister?
Typically, all of those approvals, memos, expenditure, and so on, are typically approved by the minister. You are not really, or if not with the approval, then at least with the knowledge and approval of the minister. You are not really allowed to go off on your own, making certain expenditure, taking certain actions, without at least, at a minimum, informing the minister, your supervising minister, and seeking approval when necessary. particularly for higher level actions that may cause some friction. So clearly, such a charge, would have would mean that she maybe fell afoul of some of those things, maybe taking action without clearing with the minister first. However, the laws say that if there is an issue of insubordination, you are supposed to query the official, ask them to explain their action before then taking matters up to perhaps to the people in charge of the civil service for them to really go about what issues of discipline there are. You don't just suspend the MD of a big parastatal like that without putting things on paper and laying out your case against said official. And we have not seen any such memo, from the Minister of Transport's office. So really, I think at this stage, we don't even know if there's a paper trail, either from him or her in response to the query, because of course, when you are queried, then you have to respond and so on and so forth.
Yeah, exactly.
But we don't have a document from the Transport Ministry showing that we don't have a response from the desk of the MD of the NPA responding to any such query, and so it's just difficult at this moment to really understand what the issue is. However, she did release a statement yesterday night or so regarding the violation of a court order,
right,
about the Intel's contract. So it's important for just to give some quick context here, that the Intel's contract was supposed to run for 10 years. It was about both pilotage, services rendered to the oil industry, and so it was supposed to run for 10 years and was supposed to expire on August 9 last year. Now, there were issues between the NPA and Intel regarding the remittance of Intel's remittance of certain monies to the Treasury single account, and so they had to, and then they were forced to comply with that directive rather. And then at the end of the contract simply expired. It wasn't cancelled, so it expired the way it was meant to expire. That is after 10 years, and so. The story, that was going around, said that there was a court order preventing her from terminating that contract, and then she violated that court order. And she was trying to clear the air to say that actually, whatever court action Intel took only happened after the contract had expired and not before. And so that may be the reason for this quote-unquote insubordination. But again, even that is speculation, because, a court order is a court order, a query is a query. They are not really the same thing. If you are going to be queried for violation of a court order, then such a query should really be easy for the minister to issue. He will just simply ask, why did you violate this court order, and so on, and then she would then have to respond to that. But then we don't have any have any substantiation of any of these claims, and so we are really asking. Even I, have a lot of questions.
Even you have questions. Glory, let me come to you. Let's talk about the NPA as a whole, right, and the ports themselves under Hadiza Bala Usman. Let's start here in Lagos. It still takes forever to get cargo in and out. One of the reasons is the congestion on the port roads. Now, this year, NPA launched an electronic call-up system for trucks at the port, but it doesn't seem to be solving the congestion problem. Why not, Glory?
Okay, like you said, the NPA, in fact, Nigeria loses about 600 billion in custom revenue and about 2.5 trillion in corporate revenue due to the Apapa gridlock. And over the time, there've been effort by the government to try and see how these issues can be solved. And it's important to note that, there are not just 2 seaports in Nigeria, for instance. There are about 6 major seaports. And we have Apapa, Tinkan, Onu, Port Harcourt, Warri, Calabar. So the question is, why has the congestion not happened? So for instance, there's been allocation of contracts to deepen shallow waters, so for instance in Calabar, So, but this has not really brought out the impact that we've been expecting. So a number of issues come into this analysis. Okay, apart from the poor infrastructures in other ports across the country, we also have issues of pirates, although that could be like maybe a bigger issue, for instance, to solve. But issues like infrastructures, are things that could easily be solved, especially with the collaboration with the private sector. So for instance, we've seen companies like Dangote, join in building the 35 kilometers road, and then even the Nigerian government in collaboration with NLNG, But the main problem is that, the efforts of the government have not been driven to the end. So they've not been real implementation. So they've not really asked questions. For instance, the Niger Global Engineering and Technical Company, they received 12.5 million to drench Calabar Port. And today we've not heard anything.
Hello, Glory? Oh, no. Seems to have lost a connection to her. Well, that leaves me with Wakim. Wakim, I was asking specifically about Lagos, but Glory was giving us an overview of sorts before she got to Lagos. But let me draw the conversation back to the electronic call-up system for trucks at the port, right? It doesn't seem to be solving the congestion problem. Why not, Wakim?
No, and so first of all, this issue of Akwa gridlock has been on for quite a long time. I'm sure you probably remember images of the vice president observing the port from the air in I think about 2017 or so. I'm pledging to deal with the issue, bringing up a task force, joint task force of LASMA, military, police, and so on, trying to clear that area. And then the issue of when the electronic call-up system came, it was greeted with a lot of fanfare, like it was supposed to be the quote-unquote final solution to the issue of the gridlock. But it hasn't worked. And it hasn't worked because, for example, where the trucks are supposed to park while waiting for their call-up, the fees at those truck parks are very much on the high side. In fact, it got so bad that some of the truck drivers had to actually embark on a protest, protesting the high prices that they have to pay while waiting for their call-ups. So that is on one hand. On the other hand, there's also like a deeper structural issue in that it's possible that the volume that passes through Apapa is perhaps a bit too much, or even, and then we need to then devise other means of moving goods, in and out of Nigeria, like a railway, to decongest the ports so that not so many trucks have to come to Apapa in order to move those goods. Already, the cost is so high that business has long since started to go to other nearby ports. For example, the Tema port in Ghana and the port in Lome as well are really taking away business from Nigeria. So the goods that are coming to Nigeria, some of them now get to Ghana first or get to Togo, and then from there come in by land to Nigeria. Such is the cost now associated with bringing in goods through to Nigeria ports. So the issue with technology generally is that technology is not able to deal with deeper structural problems. It is really it's really more like a band-aid. So that is why, for example, if you want to file, a company to the Corporate Affairs Commission, for example, the online portal hardly works. And we could talk for quite some time about this issue because again, you are just overlaying technology on structural problems and not really dealing with the structural problems themselves. There needs to be an alternative way of moving goods out of Apapa that does not involve trucks, particularly with regard to petroleum products, number one, and even the bigger goods, machinery, and so on and so forth. There have to be alternative ways of moving goods out of Apapa. Otherwise, we are going to end up keep going back and forth. And lastly, there again, in any issue of chaos at the ports, there are people who typically profit, and these people are the people who are also blocking reform. It says a lot that that the federal government can say that they want to decongest Apapa in 2017, and in 2021 it still hasn't happened. It speaks to a lack of state capacity that you see in virtually every area of Nigerian life as well, where a top government official can say A and it doesn't happen for years, maybe ever. And so these are separate issues that are perhaps separate shows on their own. But, just for the sake of brevity.
You are right. Now, but let's go back to our airport for a moment, right? Last week, a new multi-purpose terminal opened there. So now there's an increase in container capacity at Onne. How far will this go to easing the congestion at Apapa and Tin Can?
It should definitely help. But again, it should definitely help with regard to Porto, as by destination ports. However, yes, it should help a lot because then Onne can then service the south, for example, instead of having trucks maybe come from Apapa all the way to the south or to other neighboring states. Also, the south has a bit more proximity to the north central and the southeast, so that can also really help there. In general, the more ports that Nigeria has that can handle greater traffic, the better for Nigeria, the better for Apapa, and for those who live there, who have seen the livability of the place really go downhill over the last 10 years or so.
Something I mentioned before you and Glory came on air was reports that we saw about NPA giving Dangote Petrochemicals a waiver to land equipment at Onne to avoid worsening the congestion at Apapa. And my question with that was, isn't this a sign that Onne can handle far more types of cargo than it has previously been allowed to handle?
Yes, it should definitely be able to do that. Again, I saw that in the news when the terminal was launched, and it was something that was really taken, that was greeted with a lot of fanfare by those who built it and those who are going to run it. And it's something that should definitely help with regard to bringing in heavy machinery that is going to take time to load and offload and move out, of the port. So all of these things are the things that cause delays for the other people who want to get in, maybe get petroleum products, maybe get used clothes, used cars, and so on and so forth.
Right.
All these things cause all those delays, and really, the more ports can handle these things, the better.
The better. Last week, the Southern Governors Forum called for the ports outside of Lagos to be revived and for new ports to be built. So let's look at a few of those ports. I mean, we're out of time. We've got just 2 minutes and then we have to wrap up. But you have Calabar, for instance, that Glory Etim mentioned when she was on the call. And she said that port has been dredged and redredged over and over, but it still doesn't seem viable. What's the problem there? Is there a solution with that, Joaquim?
I think that one of the issues is really a bit geographical, and then has to do with the soil, has to do with the level, with where it is above sea level, and so on and so forth. So there are all of these technical issues around why those things have not been fixed. And maybe it's a case of getting a contractor who really understands how to solve that particular problem. But it's typically kind of technical. I have read a lot about why those ports outside Lagos are having issues. And many of the challenges are technical. So I think that it's just a matter of getting good contractors who understand how to surmount these problems. We are in 2021. I mean, there are many things that
those problems are solvable,
solved by smart engineering and so on. And I think that Nigeria should really quickly tap into these contractors who know what they are doing, so that we can get our economy moving again.
I mean, I wish we had time to talk about TINAPA. I mean, some people will say, it's out of the way. It was meant to attract imports by being a free trade zone, but federal government has revoked recognition of free trade through TINAPA, so you still have to pay duties. So there are many things to consider when you're looking at the ports, right? I mean, you've got the port in Warri as well. You're going round, and it seems like all of these ports have somehow ended up with problems. Guarantees do we have that if we build new ports, they will end up the way with the same problems that these old ports have?
Precisely. One of the main things that a country needs to have like good economic growth that Nigeria desperately needs is that the leaders, the state has to have capacity in order to do things, to do difficult things, and to do them in a timely manner. So if you see, even with regard to roads, ordinary roads in Lagos, when they start a road, it takes them a long time to fix it. It could take some roads a year. It could take a stretch of road that is about 6 kilometers, 5 kilometers. It could take them about a year to complete. There is no good reason why that should be the case, and it also makes, and it also extends to other things, like you just said, like the ports. But because our leaders have to understand that Nigeria has to grow, but Nigeria will grow by trade. It is only by enabling trade that Nigeria is going to grow. And one of the ways you enable trade is by having ports that are efficient, ports that can handle lots of cargo, lots of traffic, and so on. But to put these ports in shape, there has to be a consensus about the importance of doing that. You cannot have people who want to do the ports and then some other people who are standing in the way, of fixing that, either by allocating the contracts to contractors who don't understand what they are doing, or by blocking or circumventing these reforms in one way or the other. So we really need plenty of consensus around the fact that Nigeria needs to grow and grow fast. And key to these things is fixing infrastructure, whether it is rail, whether it is the ports, whether it is roads. The roads that will take the goods from the ports to the end to the end user and so on. But until there's consensus around these facts, it is around these hard facts. it is going to be a long road for the country that needs a lot of economic growth to deal with unemployment and deal with social unrest.
All right, we've had Joaquin McEbong on the show with us, senior researcher, senior analyst at SBM Intelligence. We also had Glory Etim, who joined us briefly, sharing her own insights as well. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties and she couldn't stay on until the end of the show. But Joaquin, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Sandra.
Lagos, we're going to have somebody else from SBM Intelligence tomorrow. He's actually a friend of the show. He'll be back tomorrow. And we're going to be talking about the Supreme Court ruling about local governments regarding Sheyi Makinde's state, Oyo. So tomorrow he'll be here. Thankfully, local government autonomy is one of the things on the list from the National Assembly about restructuring. That's one of the conversations they want to have. So we'll start the conversation tomorrow here on Hard Facts. Like I said, on Hard Facts, we're going to talk about these issues that the Senate has outlined that they want to discuss, restructuring, and it will help you decide what demands specifically you should be making when you appear before the public hearing and, speak your mind. That's all the time we have today, Lagos. I'm going to say congratulations to the person who called into what show now to win. The Morning Crossfire today. This person answered 11 questions. My dear, congratulations, Ojare. Enjoy your money. I'm talking about Zurakat Lawal. Well done. Congrats. We do hope you enjoy that 10,000 naira because you are our winner for the day. If you want to get in touch, I'm Sandra Ezekwesili on social media. Ezekwesili on Twitter, Ezekwesili on Instagram, Sandra Ezekwesili on Facebook. Those are your hard facts, Lagos. Good night.
Meet up your goals for the year? Then here's the good news. Goals are easily achieved by choosing Creditsville as a reliable credit.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are